So let's gather in really nice and close. I'm going to tell you a story about 2020 when I got very greedy and didn't buy the lows. I'm going to do my own version of the altcoin reckoning, a term coined via Ben Cohen. He doesn't really like me, but I don't care. Anyways, I want to talk about the most obvious thing in the room here. Dominance. The ability to buy when you can, but the fact that buying the lows isn't a bad thing, let's be fair. We are still, in my opinion, low. Can we go lower? Of course we can. Can things go wrong? Of course it can. But the biggest loss that you can achieve right now, and I mean this, is by waiting too long, expecting a much lower price point of any asset that you want to buy, and it doesn't actually reach it because you were too greedy. This is the premise of this video. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still, technically, in a bit of an uptrend. It's kind of an obvious uptrend when you look at the weekly. What else is happening? It's kind of obvious as well when I kind of look at, the stable currency dominance above here. We are still below the moving average 55. So that would indicate that dominance is changing there. Well, kind of. It's been coming up a little bit, but it's still relatively low. I will explain why I bought when I did in a second, but this is still looking good. Now, we are following the same sort of rhythm. Slow pullback, push, slower pullback, push, even slower pullback. Are we going to go up even higher? Now, if that does happen, it may indicate that the dominance of BTC will rise. Fair enough. It may indicate that the stable currency dominance will drop. Fair enough. Altcoins may not get as smashed though, because they're getting lower and lower and lower, right? Bear that in mind. If it bounces, you will see it, you will feel it, and you will be like, I wish I bought now. So just be careful. That could happen with crypto. It will melt your face off. It'll take off like a shitting gazelle. It usually does. It's annoying. But BTC dominance is still kind of here. It's still not going mental. There's one big obvious thing about this in terms of why this is important. It's mainly due to the Ethereum dominance and the Ethereum BTC pair. Kind of obvious, really. That's where most of the weight is. The other part of the weight is obvious too, is the stable currency dominance. What if this continues going down? BTC dominance may go up anyways, but that means more money is going into BTC. Doesn't mean that altcoins are just going to completely obliterate. But you got to remember, a lot of these altcoins are at very, very low dominances. Look at the DOT dominance, for example. Doge dominance, right? Even the BNB dominance is at the lowest point for a very, very long time, right? We're looking okay. It's looking fine. But there's a lot of fear in the market when these prices go a bit downwards. And even with the total market cap, we are still miles away from all-time high, right? There's still, in my opinion, okay to buy. That's a little bit inflated due to the BTC price. But when you start going into the total too, it's not moved. It's fine. There's a lot of people saying that they're making life-changing money. I don't know where. But you get the idea. Meme coins, right? Total 3, still at these lows. Can it go to this point here? Of course it bloody can. Can it go lower? Of course it can. But until it happens, you can't really predict. There's no point, in my opinion, putting really obvious levels much, much lower, like 30, 40, 50% lower, because they may never hit. You need to buy when you see a solid structure point. This down here at roughly 290 billion, if we go back down there, we've had 2 retests of it. That wouldn't be a bad place to start maybe buying some altcoins. And when you look at your altcoins, you will probably see some really nice juicy levels. Matic is a great example here. Broken below a level. Huge. We might actually retest this level. Maybe. But it might not. It may well just go here again, 50 cents. So try not to go too deep. A lot of people do, and even in my own communities, are like, I'm holding out for this, I'm holding out for that. Are you holding it? No. You should probably have some just in case you miss out, because if you buy higher, you are going to be in pain. By the way, links below if you want to join the community. If you want to learn how to stake and do stuff, it's cool. But let's go to why I bought when I did. So I was buying in October, November, December, January. I was buying a lot in that time frame. I did a video in February explaining what I did, but let me explain it again. BTC dominance, I use it but I also use a lot of the USDT dominance because I had a lot of profit from the previous cycle. When we were up at like 15% levels, up here especially, I was buying because the altcoin market was very low in USD pairs and I wanted to use my USD. At that time, not that bothered. I know for a fact that my Satoshi levels are dropping, but I don't care. They will come back to me because I bought in USD. I'm more than happy to ride that risk wave. I already hold a significant chunk of BTC. If I want to, I can sell that BTC or convert that BTC even into altcoins in the BTC pair if I so wish to, because the BTC pairs are very, very important. But the BTC pairs are also at very, very low levels, and they could bounce at any point. Even today, we are seeing some altcoins are outperforming BTC because they're bounced. But as I say, the proof is in the pudding. You buy when these are high and you sell when they are much lower. I am currently riding that wave, hopefully into a new level of all-time high eventually at some point in the future. Don't get scared of buying. So let's just look at a couple of BTC pairs. Let's look at .BTC just to give you an idea. This is currently here. We've bounced off that level again. I mean, why are you not buying? Why are you not even considering buying an asset that looks like this? Yes, it can go lower, don't get me wrong, but you are miles away from all-time high. All the crowd, all the hype will want to buy when it's looking green and rosy and amazing, but they don't want to buy it when it's down here. It's absolutely crazy to think. Now, again, Cardano, down here. Yes, we're not above the EMA 21, whatever, but the reality is, right, are you waiting for it to go over there to show a sign of like a level of confidence? That is like a 26% miss, realistically, from buying. And if it goes above it and then you're creating a higher low, for example, it could be like, if you had in the BTC pair, if you put BTC in that, you've lost 60% extra Satoshis by not taking the risk of buying when you're supposed to be, i.e. supports. You're supposed to buy any asset at supports when no one wants it, when no one cares, because eventually it will turn. You accumulate. If you can stake it, stake it. As I say, links below into my community. There's help, there's articles, there's all kinds of stuff to show you how to stake if you so wish to. But yeah, I do get a little bit annoyed when people start talking about bearishness. I was very bearish when the market turned. I was not buying all the way from like November, October time. I've put tweets up here, by the way, you can see them, when I was selling, right? It's kind of obvious what I was doing. But overall, when you look at the fact of how much this has dropped in the Satoshi pair, that's fine. But there's got to be a point where you need to jump in. There's got to be a point where you need to start getting back into position. And when you look at those USD pairs, they looked all right at the time. Yes, I've taken a hit on some of the Satoshis, but at the end of the day, Christ, from when I was buying, yes, looking, I don't own Cardano for an example, but realistically, it's still miles away from all-time high. If I was buying comfortably around this range here, it's still low, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's a bit of drawdown in the Satoshi pairs, that's fine. But look at the upside that it can potentially go. I'm still not, it's not like buying up here. So make sure you understand that. When you're an investor, it's not always going to go up, but you've got to get the best possible entry. And one of the biggest things that I stand by, and I always say this, the profit is when you buy. Because if you get a really nice order, the probability of you making profit is absolutely huge here. Versus when you buy when it's all hyped up and everyone wants it. I will give you an example of an asset that is currently hyped up, which is a really solid asset. I think it's really good, don't get me wrong. But when you see, I know I've not got the most data here, but look at that, that's crazy. Why would you want to buy that realistically now when you could have bought it, you know, a while ago? That's a BTC pair, that's looking crazy. Let me just have a little look at another one. You know, since it got listed on Bybit. You see the idea of hype? People list them, people like to look at certain things. It looks interesting, right? But yeah, don't get scared. It could go lower, don't get me wrong, obviously, yes. But if you are waiting for that absolute sweet spot of a bottom, it may never hit, you know? And if it doesn't, well, you're buggered. Anyways, watch this video, it might help you.